Has science gone too far? Today we are cutting Gifts Ungiven from Gifts Storm, and instead we're playing Flow State from Secrets of Strixhaven. It's the perfect change. Let's go check it out. In front of you is Gift Storm with 0 copies of Gifts Ungiven. This is not an original idea of mine. This actually belongs to Tony Scapone, who's been working on it in the Storm Discord. You can find that link in the description down below. And I've taken their idea and I've expanded it into my own deck list, pushing it even further. So the idea is that there's no copies of Gifts Ungiven, and instead you are playing Flow State from Secrets of Strixhaven. This 2-mana sorcery for 1 and a blue. You look at the top 3 cards of your library, you put one of them to your hand. If you have an instant and a sorcery card, you can put 2 of those cards to your hand instead, and the other card on the bottom of your library. You're playing this in conjunction with Stock Up, this card that's pretty similar to Flow State. It's 2 and a blue, 3 mana total. You look at the top 5 cards of your library, you put 2 of them to your hand, the rest on the bottom in a random order. These cards are very reminiscent of the old pieces of the puzzle that Giftstorm used to play in its heyday back in 2018. Well, now you get to essentially play that post-board game plan in game number 1 with Stock Up and Flow State. Because of Graveyard Hate, you would board in pieces of the puzzle and you would try to chain pieces of the puzzles and Manamorphose until you built a high enough storm count to win through Graveyard Hate like a Rest in Peace. Well, these days you have Flow State and Stock Up, which are just even better than pieces of the puzzle because they can find your cost reducers like a Rail Monsoon Mage or a Stormcatch Mentor, which by the way is a backup win condition because it has Prowess. So if for some reason your Grape Shot is not available, you can always use Stormcatch Mentor to attack for lethal, which is pretty cool. So the idea with this deck is you gave up the deterministic Gifts Ungiven pile win, and instead you're no longer a deterministic strategy. You're more of an organic storm strategy looking to chain powerful draw spells like that Stock Up and Flow State. Because we're looking to cast blue spells in our deck full of Pyretic Rituals and Desperate Rituals, I've made an adjustment. This is something that I think belongs in the deck for 2 reasons. I am playing Strike It Rich. The first reason is that it converts red mana into blue mana, so that way you can play Flow State and Stock Up off of that Desperate Ritual mana or Pyretic Ritual mana. The second reason to play Strike It Rich is that I recently recorded Ruby Storm. You can find that video in the card above. And in that video, I felt like the format was super fast. I kept on dying before I ever got a 3rd turn. Well, if you play Strike It Rich, you could play it on the 1st turn. And then on turn 2, you can play Rail Monsoon Mage into your Pyretic Ritual and then start winning from there. That's the idea behind Strike It Rich. So blue mana and accelerated speed. So you do play 8 wizards in your deck, which means that Flame of Anor is a reasonable card to play. It answers main deck Graveyard Hate or a creature that would stop you from winning the game. And if they don't have those things, you could just draw 2 cards instead. We're also playing 2 copies of Artist Talent. This is because we're a deck looking to chain powerful draw spells like the Flow State and Stock Up, and we gave up that deterministic win. Well, without that deterministic win, Artist Talent gains more value as you're allowed to get rid of cards that no longer might be useful for things that you might be able to convert. So, for example, if you Flow State and you only see 1 card you want, you can convert a spare land into another draw, which is really good. So Artist Talent has value there. Eventually, you'll play Past in Flames, replay your graveyard into that lethal Grape Shot, or just attacking with the Stormcatch Mentor for lethal. That's the idea. That's the deck tech. I'd like to thank Tony Scapone for the inspiration, and I hope you all enjoy the video. If you do, like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate your support. But we're going to hop on into that first match, and I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1 with Gift Storm without any Gifts Ungiven. This is just really Izzet Storm combo, and let's see how we do. Alright, so we have Strike It Rich, we have a Rail Monsoon Mage. I will keep this. I think that we're actually supposed to play Preordain on the 1st turn. We don't know what our opponent's playing, so I don't love just jamming a Striker Rich quickly, I think I'd rather try to find land number 2. We'll play the Misty Rainforest and then fetch down to 19 and then immediately go down to 17 because I love to Lightning Bolt myself and Preordain. We don't need either of these. Both on the bottom, draw a card, another Preordain. We are still on the hunt for land number 2. Our opponent has a Verdant Catacombs, and they pass the turn, so no turn 1 play. We draw Stormcatch Mentor. We'll play Preordain looking for land number 2. We find it. I think I want the stock up, or at least I'll leave it there until I know what our opponent's playing. Because, I mean, I guess I could play Striker Rich, and then in theory I could try something next turn, or I can just Preordain, which might be better to dig for land 3. Yeah, I'll grab the basic island. Let's play Preordain. We'll bottom the Rail Monsoon Mage, and we'll keep the Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn. They fetch with Verdant Catacombs. They grab an Underground Mortuary. Okay. They kept that card on top. And a Boseiju Who Endures. Delighted Halfling, so this is Yawgmoth combo? I could try to jam here. I'm having second thoughts. I think I'm going to just Surveil and play Artist Talent. We'll get rid of the Rail Monsoon Mage. Next turn I'll go for it. I think my opponent opened with a very slow start. And if they are on Yawgmoth combo, I don't want to rush and fizzle when I could have just played more patiently and not fizzle. So that's what I'm going for here. They swing. Ouch. So they could have an Orcish Bowmasters. That's something to consider here. Another Ritual. Let's attempt a Rail Monsoon Mage. Pyretic Ritual. Triggers. And there's the Orcish Bowmasters. The question is, do I want to discard the Stormcatch Mentor? And I think I do. Stock Up was a good find. We'll say Tails. We lose the flip. Play the Desper Ritual. I am not going to discard. We'll try to flip the Rail Monsoon Mage. Tails. Yes, we win the flip. I'm flipping now because I want my Rail to reduce the stock up, but also I want to use the Artist Talent to draw cards. And now the Bowmasters has to deal the Rail 5. We'll play the Manamorphose. Auto yield to this. Discard the Striker Rich. The Bowmasters happens. We'll make 2 blue mana. Another Rail Monsoon Mage. I think I'm going to level up the Artist Talent here. And now we can play stock up for 1 mana. I'm going to fetch. Grab Steam Vents. Ouch. Play stock up. And I don't think I'm going to get rid of the Rail. I think I want to keep it. Past in Flames Manamorphose? Or is the other stock up better? I think it's the Manamorphose. We'll play the Manamorphose. Get rid of the Rail Monsoon Mage. They ping me. I'm at 9. We'll make blue-red. We drew the other Past in Flames. Okay. I'm at 8. We'll play Strike It Rich. Discard a Past in Flames. I go to 7. Play the Pyretic Ritual. And I will not discard. Flashback Past in Flames. No discard. Just make sure they don't have an Endurance and keep this one in my hand. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. No discard. I will tap the Steam Vents. We'll play Stock Up. No discard. We'll take Flow State and the Ritual. Play Pyretic Ritual. Flashback Strike It Rich. No. And now we'll play Flow State for 1 mana. We'll take another Flow State and Flame of Anor. I will now sacrifice for blue. Actually, no, we could still sacrifice for blue. I'll play Flow State. I think my game plan is I'm going to kill the Bowmaster with the Flame of Anor, but I might want to find a wizard first. There's the Grape Shot. So I guess we don't need to find a wizard anymore. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. No. Desper Ritual. Storm is now 18. Manamorphose. No. Blue, blue. And now we'll play Grape Shot. Storm 20. Boom! Oh, I missed opportunity. I could have leveled up the Artist Talent and dealt like 50. Probably even more. It would be 20 times 3, so 60. I could have dealt 60. Missed opportunity. Hopefully you'll find it in your heart to forgive me. And off to game number 2. Yawgmoth combo. I don't even know. Like, I guess maybe into the Floodmaw? And then we'll get rid of Striker Rich because it's not a super fast matchup. But I guess Striker Rich helps with my colors, so do I really want to board it out? Part of me wonders if I should just resubmit. I do have 5 answers already in my main deck. Do I need more? I'll board out 1 Preordain and 1 Striker Rich for 2 into the Floodmaw. And we'll try this out. A question that came up a lot in my videos immediately after Boomerang Basics entered Magic the Gathering was, why aren't you playing it in Modern? Well, it's very different in Legacy, where you have Mox Opals and Chrome Moxes to bounce and draw cards. In Modern, you don't have those. So I think it doesn't make sense to play Boomerang Basics. Like, Into the Flood Maw is just better, at least in this format currently. They play Misty Rainforest, Overgrown Tomb, and a Green Sun Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Okay. We draw Manamorphose. I'll play Scalding Tarn. We'll grab the basic, play Strike It Rich, pass the turn. So next turn I can play Sink in a Stupor as a land, Manamorphose Flow State for 2 cards. They have an Agatha Soul Cauldron, so that's going to ruin that plan. Okay. They attack with the Dryad Arbor. We draw Scalding Tarn. I think I'm just going to use a sad Flow State here. We'll grab the basic island, Flow State. We'll take the Preordain, pass the turn. They have an Underground Mortuary. They do not attack with the Dryad Arbor, so that might mean Endurance. Stormcatch Mentor. We'll play Sink in a Stupor as a land. Ouch. Let's play the Stormcatch Mentor, and then we'll attempt a Flow State to pump it up. If they try to Bowmasters, I can respond. So the Stormcatch Mentor is now a 2/2. We'll take another Stormcatch Mentor. We will play Pyretic Ritual, Prowess, Manamorphose. They're thinking about the Bowmasters here. We'll make 2 blue mana. We'll play Stormcatch Mentor and Preordain. Alright, well they did not Bowmasters if they had it. We'll put both of the lands on the bottom. A lot of lands so far this game. Strike It Rich, we'll play that. And now I will Manamorphose. We'll do blue and red. I will play Rail Monsoon Mage and go to combat. Swing for 11. And there's Endurance. I had a feeling they had it. I am so terribly surprised. They should use the Agatha Soul Cauldron first, but oh well. They did not. They blocked the 7/7, and now we'll pass. They exiled their own Endurance, nice. They play land number 5, 3 cards in their hand. They grab Basic Forest, Young Wolf, and the Yawgmoth. I think I lose now. Okay. They're at 10. They kill my Stormcatch Mentor. Let's see what the draw is. Another land. Yeah, unfortunately, on my combo turn last turn, I just saw too many lands off my spells. It is what it is. Let's try to win game number 3. One downside of Stormcatch Mentor there, our opponent had an effect that dealt 1 damage. When I was looking at deck building, there wasn't a whole lot of 1 damage effects in Modern right now, so I thought Stormcatch Mentor as a backup win condition was better than Brawl Chief of Compliance, but there's pros and cons. Obviously, we're seeing a con in match number 1, but I think it being a backup win condition is better overall. I'm going to just resubmit. On the play. Sure, we will keep. We'll play Scalding Tarn and pass the turn. Wooded Foothills. They grab Overgrown Tomb. Delighted Halfling, that's fine. I'm going to fetch and Surveil. We'll grab the Thundering Falls. Keep the Steam Vents. We want that. Our opponent pausing on our draw step. I mean, if you want a Surgical Extraction of Scalding Tarn, be my guest. We'll play Rail Monsoon Mage. Pass the turn. They have a Verdant Catacombs. 6 cards in their hand. Stormcatch Mentor. I'm going to play Steam Vents. Ouch. Desperate Ritual. Trigger the Rail. I'll say Tails. We lose. And then I'm going to try a stock up for 2 mana. I could play the Stormcatch Mentor, but they're representing Orcish Bowmasters, and I don't really have the tools to protect the Mentor right now. We'll say Tails. No. Stock up. We'll take Manamorphose and another stock up. Play the Manamorphose. This is the 3rd spell for Rail Monsoon Mage. Say Tails. No. And then I'm going to make 2 blue here, because if I draw another Ritual, I want the extra blue. I didn't. I'll play another copy of Stock Up. This is the 4th spell for Rail Monsoon Mage. Say Tails. That could have been better. We'll do Strike It Rich and Flow State. We'll play Flow State Storm 5. Is this a spot where you would like to Endurance? I'll say Tails, Flow State. We're going to fetch in response. This does look like a spot for a hardcast Endurance. There it is. Alright, Flow State. I think we take the Strike It Rich, because we can chain Strike It Rich multiple times here to try to flip the rail. We'll say Tails. We win the flip. Yes. And now we'll ultimate. The ultimate could have been better, but we'll be okay. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. This allows me to play the Stormcatch Mentor. And now we'll play Desperate Ritual, Preordain, Storm 11. We'll keep the Pyretic Ritual. Let's flashback Strike It Rich. My Stormcatch Mentor is now a 4/4. We'll sacrifice the treasure for a blue. We'll play Flame of Anor. I'll draw 2 and then we'll kill the Endurance. Goodbye to your blocker. And now I will play Pyretic Ritual. We'll play Strike It Rich. Flashback the Strike It Rich. Pyretic Ritual. Grape Shot target you. The Stormcatch Mentor's a 9/9 already, about to be a 10/10. And it looks like we're going to win game number 1, or match number 1, I should say, over Yawgmoth combo. Maybe this Giftsless Storm has something there. I mean, if you think about it, if we were playing traditional Gifts combo, we probably lose game 1 and game 3. Our opponent had Endurance both games, and we were not actually a Gifts Ungiven deck. So we were able to just chain spells and win. That's the whole concept behind the deck, and it worked in match number 1. Let's see if it does the same thing in match number 2. Packs.com is the new way to open your favorite cards. It's a site where you open digital packs of trading cards like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and One Piece cards, and have the cards you open mailed quickly and securely to you. With a wide range of packs to choose from, such as the latest Magic sets, Kaladesh inventions, or even beta. I'm going to open a beta pack. What's great about Packs.com is you can see all of the cards and their odds of being opened in each pack. Now it's time to open one and see what I get. Come on, Black Lotus! If you don't like what you opened, you could sell it back instantly for more packs, or sell it and pick a specific card from the marketplace over at packs.com/market. If you want to check out packs.com, make sure to click the link in the description of this video and use code STORM5 when making a purchase for 5% extra on your first purchase. Welcome back to the second match. We're on the play again with this Giftsless Storm. I will keep. We'll play Island into Preordain. I think I want both of these. Pass the turn. Our opponent with these Steam Vents. Mishra's Bauble. Alright, they're the Affinity deck. Okay. And I'm going to just play the Stormcatch Mentor and pass the turn. My little 1/1 Otter Wizard friend. They use the Emery, Lurker of the Lock, to replay Mox Opal, another Engineered Explosives, in fact, 2 more. And now a Kappa Cannoneer. You got it. So we have a window to try to win here. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. And now we'll play Artist Talent. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. Auto yield to these abilities. We'll get rid of the Misty Rainforest. We'll play Manamorphose. I am not interested in discarding a card here. We'll make blue and red. So I could level up the Artist Talent and then stock up for 1 mana. My question is that worth it? I'm spending 3 mana to save 1. I don't think it is. So I will play stock up here. And we'll get rid of the Sink in a Stupor. Low State, that's a good one. We'll take Manamorphose and Rail Monsoon Mage. We'll play the Rail Monsoon Mage. Manamorphose. No, I don't want to discard. We'll say Tails. Yeah, let's flip it. Ooh, I miscounted. Whoops. We'll do red, blue. I punted. We'll kill the Emery. And I'll get to draw a card here because Stormcatch Mentor is blue. I will play Flow State. Discard the spare Stormcatch Mentor. The discard finds another copy of Flow State. We'll take the Pyretic Ritual and Thundering Falls. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. Discard Thundering Falls. We'll play Manamorphose. Discard the Strike It Rich. We'll make 2 blue mana here. We'll play Flow State. This list feels really smooth. I like it. I know we're only a match in, 1 game in, but it feels very fluid. Flow State. We'll take another Flow State and Strike It Rich. Play the Flow State. Discard the Preordain. Rail Monsoon Mage and stock up. Let's play Strike It Rich. Discard Steam Vents. We'll play Ottawa Soaring City. And then the question is, do you Flow State or do you stock up? I think you play stock up. Like, you get to see 2 more cards to help you keep going. We'll get rid of the Rail Monsoon Mage. 2 Desperate Rituals. Okay. I don't need the Past in Flames, and Strike It Rich being in my graveyard is insane here. Desperate Ritual. Discard Thundering Falls. We'll play Rail Monsoon Mage. Play Desperate Ritual. I think I want both of these. Yeah, I think I want both. Say Tails. We lose the flip. We'll flashback Striker Rich, 1 mana. No. Rail attempts again. I'll say yes this time. We'll keep the rail with 17 loyalty. And now we'll ultimate. We find the Grape Shot. And we'll kill the opponent. Nice. Even with my misplay, it did not matter. That was a very smooth turn 3 win. Love it. So the Affinity deck, we have Meltdown and Brotherhood's End. What to sideboard out? I wonder if they're like a deck that plays 3 Tormod's Crypt. I know we're bringing in Meltdown, but I think maybe you can get rid of one of the Past in Flames. We'll get rid of 1 Strike It Rich. And then as crazy as it seems, 2 Preordain. It's game 2. Our opponent has taken a mulligan. Here we do not have land number 2. If you draw 1, this hand is quite incredible. But the question is, do you draw 1? I think I'm going to... this is so tough. I want to keep it. Our deck has 19 lands, but 3 of them other than Otawara don't make red. I'm going to mulligan. This is better. Keep. We'll get rid of Desperate Ritual. So the idea here is that turn 1 I surveil off of Misty Rainforest. Turn 2 I play the island, I play Artist Talent. Turn 3 I can play Manamorphose, use the Artist Talent to discard Striker Rich into flow state. They have a relatively unexciting turn 1. And actually with the rail draw, I could go turn 1 Striker Rich, turn 2 rail, turn 2 Manamorphose flow state. Let's try it. I wish I would have kept the ritual over the Artist Talent now, but there's no way I knew that I was going to draw into Rail Monsoon Mage. Play the Striker Rich and we'll pass. They have a Pithing Needle, so this can name Rail Monsoon Mage, or Rail Leyline Prodigy, they're correct. I think I'm still going to go for it here. Maybe it's greedy, but let's party. Rail Monsoon Mage. I have 5 effects in my deck that will destroy this needle. We'll say Tails, no, and now Manamorphose, Tails. I'll make 2 blue, flow state for 1 mana. Tails. I'll take Meltdown and Flow State. I will Meltdown for 1. Tails on the Rail Monsoon Mage. Now I'll play Flow State for 1 mana. So now I'm capable of flipping the Rail Monsoon Mage. And I do. What's wrong with me? I flipped it too early again. 1, 2. Oh, I played the Rail this turn. I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot. Ugh. Well, it turns out if I didn't, I wouldn't have been able to flip it anyway, but I just need to pay attention. I don't know what's wrong with me. We'll take 2 spells here. We'll plus, pass the turn. That's twice this league, where I'm like, oh yeah, like this is correct, and then I just lose track and I punt. But that actually, the punt was a setup into success there on accident. Tormod's Crypt, I don't care about that. Let's play our Scalding Tarn, and then I'll fetch. We'll grab another Steam Vents. Ouch. We'll ultimate the Rail Leyline Prodigy. We'll Meltdown for 0. They use the Tormod's Crypt. Let's play Artist Talent. Now we will play Desperate Ritual. Trigger the Artist Talent. Discard Sink into Stupor. We'll play Preordain. Discard Stock Up. And we found the Grape Shot. I think I'm going to get rid of both of these. I don't think I need Stormcatch Mentor. Although, you know, Galvanic Blast would kill it. I think I'm still going to keep it. We'll play the Stormcatch Mentor. Play the Past in Flames for free. Prowess. Discard the Stock Up. Past in Flames still on the stack. Actually, I think I'm going to let it go. I'm trying to make sure that I can respond and keep my Stormcatch Mentor alive, or if they have Flusterstorm, it's something I want to play around. Alright, so we'll Manamorphose in response. Discard Scalding Tarn. Another Brotherhood's End. Okay. We'll make blue red. Past in Flames has been countered. We'll play Stock Up. Discard Brotherhood's End. Stock Up. We'll take Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual. And now I can flashback Past in Flames. Pyretic Ritual. Discard Scalding Tarn. Pyretic Ritual. No, I think I want the Ritual here. Desperate Ritual. No. We'll flashback Past in Flames. I could also just level up Artist Talent and then Grape Shot. That is a possibility here. But I was worried about this exact thing. So I'm glad that I didn't, because now we have a win. So we're not going to pay for the Past in Flames. No. And now we'll cast the Grape Shot. And we played around Flusterstorm correctly. So Grape Shot here is not lethal, but it is when you pair it with our Stormcatch Mentor. And we have now won match number 2. Deck is running quite well. Let's see if it does the same in the third match.
Building a new deck usually means getting hit with a dozen different shipping fees from a dozen different sellers. It adds up fast, and honestly, it's the worst part of buying cards. That's why I switched to Card Trader Zero. You shop their global marketplace, but instead of having every seller ship to you, they ship to Card Trader's hub first. Card Trader then packs everything into a single shipment for you, and it saves a small fortune on shipping fees. This package from Card Trader just arrived. These are 4 dark rituals that came from 4 different sellers, but they all arrived in one envelope, and every card was quality checked by the Card Trader team before it hit my door. Check out the link in the description to try Card Trader Zero's optimizer for yourself. Stop paying for multiple shipments and get just one.
We are back for the third round, and we've opened up a hand with no lands. We must mulligan. This one's decent. We'll keep and get rid of the Grape Shot. Eldrazi Temple. Another copy of Artist Talent. Not really what I need here. We'll grab a basic island. Play the Preordain. Bottom the stock up. Keep Desperate Ritual. Pass the turn. Another Eldrazi Temple, and they just pass. Interesting. I'm going to play Artist Talent here. They're likely going to Kozilek's Command, and there's no reason to play the Rail Monsoon Mage into that. So we'll play Artist Talent. Pass that turn. Here's the Kozilek's Command. So they're going to make 2 Eldrazi spawns, and then Scry 2 draw a card. Not Surveil, Scry. Grove of the Burn Willows. Glaring Fleshraker. And they pass the turn holding open a bunch of mana. I think I'm going to just level up the Artist Talent here. I really don't want to play into their hate. I run the risk of dying to, like, them chaining Kozilek's commands, but I don't think I'm supposed to play around that. We'll grab the basic island, level up the Artist Talent, pass the turn. Looks like another copy of Kozilek's command. You got it. I am at 14 and they have a boatload of mana. They play an Ancient Stirrings. They found a third Kozilek's command. I might actually be dead. And now a Kozilek's command for 5, which effectively deals me 6. Okay, please don't kill me. I'm at 9. Blade of the Blood Chief. I am very close to dead. So this is 7 damage. As long as they can play a colorless spell here, I'm dead. They had the 4th Kozilek's command. Wow. What a draw. Okay. I don't think there was much I could have done there, if I'm being honest with you. Our opponent high-rolled us. It happens. We were also on the draw where if we were on the play, I think we probably win that. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't even think I want to sideboard. I'm going to just resubmit. Game number 2 on the play. I think I'm going to choose to believe here. We have double Preordain. I just have to find land number 2 for the Stormcatch Mentor. It seems fine enough, I guess is my point. We'll play Ottawa Soaring City as our land, and then we'll play Preordain. We find a land, but it's one of our 2 islands. I'm going to bottom it. Rail Monsoon Mage, not really a draw we needed. Grove of the Burn Willows into Delighted Halfling. We did not find the land. I'll play Preordain. There's a mountain. Do I keep the Past in Flames? I think so. And then we'll play Striker Rich. Pass the turn. They have an Urza's Saga. Blade of the Blood Chief. I think I'm going to bait here with the Stormcatch Mentor. Because if one of my creatures dies, I'd prefer if it wasn't Rail Monsoon Mage. And step they Warping Whale. Okay. They play Forest. Malevolent Rumble. Unholy Heat. A Kozilek's command. Glaring Fleshraker. They take the Glaring Fleshraker, but they don't play it. We find Artist Talent. I'll play the Artist Talent. Pass the turn. So if they have the, what is it called? The Nature's Claim, okay. The Basking Broodscale, they already have the Glaring Fleshraker, so I should be dead. So the question is, do they have it? They find Springleaf Drum. Yeah, this kills me, right? Now they make infinite mana? Yep. Okay, so our opponent had 2 fairly good draws. I don't think that they were like the world's best draws, but they were above average. Meanwhile, I stumbled throughout this match. So I don't know how to feel, if I'm being honest with you. Like, sometimes you lose, and that's a part of Magic. But I wonder if there's something I could have done better. That's all. Yeah, we lost. We're now 2-1. Match number 4 coming right up. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Let's bounce back here in the fourth match. We are on the play. Yeah, this is great. Keep. I would like a cost reducer, please. Misty Rainforest and pass. They have Scalding Tarn or a Steam Vents. Cameo Inquisitive Student. We'll fetch. Grab Thundering Falls. I'll take an Artist Talent. It's not like the best card I could have found, but it's reasonable. Play the Artist Talent. Pass. They attack with the Cameo Inquisitive Student. Urza's Saga, Strike It Rich. I'll attempt a Manamorphose, and I'll discard Strike It Rich. Grape Shot, not really a card I want here. They Metallic Rebuke. Pass the turn. Urza's Saga goes to the second chapter. They swing with the Tamiyo, and now they play Emery Lurker of the Loch, Blooded Strand, 4 cards remain. Refined Rail Monsoon Mage. I'll play the Rail Monsoon Mage. Pass the turn. They fetch with Flooded Strand. They search out Thundering Falls. They surveil away a Mox Opal, which gives the Emery Lurker of the Loch a card to bring back. They make a Construct here, which is interesting. Okay. They search out Tormod's Crypt. They use the Emery to return the Mox Opal. 5 cards in their hand. They play Breeding Pool. And now they swing. No blocks. 4 cards still left. Another Tamiyo Inquisitive Student. Okay, Legend Rule, you got it. Unholy Heat, okay. That's not great for me. So I did find the land, so I can now level up the Artist Talent. Yeah, I'll level up the Artist Talent and pass. I was considering for a moment trying to win this turn. I could have gone Ritual, level up Artist Talent, Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose, stock up. It's just really risky, and I don't think you necessarily need to take that risk. They play land number 4, 2 cards left in hand. They fetch with Scalding Tarn. Quantum Riddler. Okay. This will transform the Tamiyo. 3 cards left in their hand now. They use the Emery Lurker of the Loch to return Tormod's Crypt. Skateboard. So that is 12 damage? I did not consider warping my Quantum Riddler, giving it Skateboard so it can do kickflips and then attacking. I mean, it's cool. I'm at 4. Alright, so we'll begin with a Pyretic Ritual. I have nothing I want to discard here. So I want to keep the Sink in a Stupor as backup, in case they try to do something with their Steam Vents. I'll play Manamorphose. No. We'll make 2 blue. Flow State. It's interesting. Let's play Stock Up. No. We'll take Preordain and Flow State. I can now Flow State for 1 mana with both modes. No. Do they respond with the Tormod's Crypt? They did not. I'll take Preordain and a land. Let's play Desperate Ritual. I'll get rid of Scalding Tarn. Pyretic Ritual. No. And now I can level up the Artist Talent again. Grape Shot for lethal with Sink in a Stupor backup. Pew pew! All at you. Trigger. Nice. Alright, so we're facing another Affinity-esque deck, although this one seems to be more interactive than the one we faced previously. I think we want the Brotherhood's Ends, maybe the Meltdowns. I'm going to get rid of a couple copies of Striker Rich. I'll leave 1, I think. I'm going to bring back a Striker Rich, and we'll get rid of a Past in Flames. So similar to how we boarded earlier. I was also considering bringing in a few copies of Flusterstorm. I just don't know where the room would come from. I think you have to get rid of the Preordains altogether. We'll keep. Our opponent plays Steam Vents into Haywire Might. We'll play Thundering Falls. Surveil away the Artist Talent. Don't want you anymore. They have a Mox Amber, Emery Lurker of the Loch, Soul Guide Lantern, Mishra's Bauble, and another Haywire Might. Okay. 2 cards left in their hand. We'll play Steam Vents, ouch, into Rail Monsoon Mage. They Flame of Anor. That's kind of rude. Alright. Now an Urza's Saga. And now they play Mishra's Bauble. Mox Opal. 2 cards left in hand. They swing. We find another Pyretic Ritual. I think I'm going to just pass here and hide the Rail Monsoon Mage. They use the Mishra's Bauble. Like, in theory, I could have tried to do something last turn, but you have a 50-50 to flip the rail, and you have to hope your opponent has no interaction, which is not the best odds. They're going to Emery for Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. 4 cards in their hand. They attack with the Haywire Might. We'll fetch. Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Striker Rich. Stock up. Okay. We'll play Desperate Ritual. They allowed that to resolve. We will Desperate Ritual again. And we'll attempt a Rail Monsoon Mage. So you might be saying, Bryant, why are you jamming here? Well, if I don't, my opponent makes a construct on the end step, untaps, makes another construct, grabs Skateboard, and kills me. So I am pressured here to try to make something happen. I will now play Striker Rich, trigger the rail. I'll say Tails, and no. I'll Desperate Ritual, Tails. So Storm is 5. I can Strike it Rich and lose a mana, but then have the ability to stock up. I think I like this. Let's Strike it Rich. Tails. No. So now they're deciding if they would like to try to kill the Rail Monsoon Mage. We're going to make a construct. Okay. Weird time to do that. We're going to exile my graveyard, which I'm okay with. So they just gave me a bunch of information that they did not need to do. We'll play stock up. Tails. This is the 7th spell of the turn, and I played Rail as my only non-creature, so this should actually flip my Rail Leyline Prodigy correctly. Stock up. We'll take Pyretic Ritual. We'll ultimate the Rail Leyline Prodigy, and that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. We'll Brotherhood's End and destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Actually, is it better to... Yeah, I think it's better to kill the creatures here. Force of Negation. I'll allow it. We'll Meltdown. Another Force of Negation. I think they held on to these for way too long. Okay. Let's play stock up for free. We'll take Grape Shot and Pyretic Ritual. We'll play stock up for free. Take Manamorphose. I suppose I should play an instant, huh? Alright, so I will draw 2 cards using the Flame of Anor. I'll now play Flow State with both modes. I'll take Steam Vents and Meltdown. I'll play my land for the turn. That was insane. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. We'll Meltdown. Okay. Storm is 19. And I suppose I'll cast Grape Shot. We did it. That was sweet. Alright, we are now 3-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. It's the final round. We're on the draw, and I will keep. This hand is quite nice. Our opponent leads off with a Bloodstained Mire into Steam Vents, Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'll play the basic island and Preordain. Get rid of the Scalding Tarn. I'll keep the Flow State. So next turn I can play Manamorphose Flow State for 2. They fetch with the Bloodstained Mire for a Mountain. Preordain. Gets rid of Mishra's Bauble. And now they play Lava Dart. So Lava Dart was a card I considered when deck building because our Storm Chaser Mage, I believe that's what it's called, the Otter Wizard, is really weak to Lava Dart. But I was like, the Prowess deck barely sees any play, which is true, but we happen to pair into it. I'm at 16. All right, well, I drew another Rail Monsoon Mage, so I think I'm okay playing out the first one now. I was originally going to Flow State, and now I don't think I need to. They play Wooded Foothills into a Slick Shot Show Off. Am I dead? Lightning Bolt. Okay, so that's 6 damage coming in. They could Lava Dart, and that would be 3 more. But they don't. Okay. Desperate Ritual? Let's see it. No, I drew Stormcatch Mentor. Alright, so I'll play Ottawara Soaring... No, I can't. I need to play Steam Vents. We'll play Rail Monsoon Mage. I have to get incredibly lucky here in order to win. We'll play Manamorphose. Trigger. So, first instant and or sorcery of the turn. No. We'll do blue, red, another Stormcatch Mentor, pretty terrible. We'll flow state for 2 cards. Tails. I'm going to say no. Manamorphose Past in Flame, so there's a chance if I Manamorphose into a ritual. Okay, let's see it. Manamorphose. This is the 3rd instant or sorcery of the turn. I think I'll do blue-red. We saw 25% of our deck and no rituals. So I could play the Stormcatch Mentor as a blocker. The issue is that they have Lava Dart, and I don't want them to know that I have Stormcatch Mentor in my deck. So I think I'm supposed to try to flip the rail and then kill the Slickshot Show Off. Tails, but I lost the flip. And there's 2 rituals. I'm going to concede. Okay, that could have gone better. I don't think that Stormcatch Mentor is good in this matchup, so I'm going to just sideboard it out. I also think Flame of Anor is too clunky. I'm definitely interested in Into the Floodmaw. What's funny is like a bunch of the cards in their deck get shut off by Vexing Bauble, but I don't know if that's a card we actually want. I'm interested to try it. We'll do 2 Vexing Bauble. Submit. Change my mind. We'll do 3 Vexing Bauble and 2 Strike It Rich. On the play for Match 5, Game 2, we will keep Thundering Falls, Surveil, get rid of the Flow State, pass. I'm sorry, get rid of the Stock Up, pass. They lead off with Scalding Tarn. I was thinking about Flow State when I was narrating. They have a first turn Dragon's Rage Channeler into Mishra's Bauble. They surveil away Monastery Swift Spear. We draw a Misty Rainforest. I'll fetch. And I think I do want a shock here because I need 2 red mana. So I will go to 17. And we'll play Preordain. Keep the Manamorphose, get rid of the island. And I'll pass the turn. So I am very likely going to burn the Into the Floodmaw on their turn just to get instant into the graveyard for my flow state. But I do have Manamorphose, so maybe I don't need to do that. I'm not sure. They draw off of the Mishra's Bauble, Wooded Foothills, and now they Preordain. Gets rid of a Fiery Islet. And now they're attacking for 3. This will knock me down to 14. I'm fine with that. So if they're going to leave open mana, on my turn, I'm going to just flow state. Well, I guess I should make it so I get 2 cards. We'll bounce the Channeler. I was thinking flow state, hold open Floodmaw, but then I have to burn the Manamorphose, and I don't think I want to do that. We drew the Ritual. We'll play flow state. We'll take Synchronous Stupor and Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn. They fetch with the Wooded Foothills and search out Thundering Falls. They kept the card on top. Land number 3. They fetch for a mountain. Dragon's Rage Channeler, Monastery Swift Spear, and Mishra's Bauble. Now they use the Mishra's Bauble. They attack for 2, I'll go to 12. And now we just need to beat something like a Lightning Bolt, which I think should be possible. They have 4 cards in their hand. Manamorphose, perfect draw. Okay, let's attempt to do something meaningful. I'll grab the mountain. We'll play Rail Monsoon Mage, Pyretic Ritual, trigger. We'll say Tails. And now Manamorphose, trigger Rail. Second spell of the turn for Rail's purposes. I'll say no. Manamorphose. I'll make 2 blue mana. Play Flow State. Third instant or sorcery of the turn. Say Tails. We lose the flip. I'll take Artist Talent and Pyretic Ritual. Play the Pyretic Ritual. Trying to leave open Sink into Super Mana if I need it. We'll say Tails. No. Now we'll play the Artist Talent. So, Artist Talent does not count towards flipping Rail, so now it's Storm Count -2. So this Manamorphose will be the 5th spell for flipping Rail Monsoon Mage. Artist Talent, I'll discard the island, into the Floodmaw, say Tails, and now I'm going to make 2 blue mana. Okay, that was good. We'll play Desperate Ritual, and then with this on the stack, I guess I don't need to do it on the stack. We can just let this happen. I'll say Tails, yes. Artist Talent, discard into the Floodmaw. Desperate Ritual. We'll ultimate the Rail Leyline Prodigy. Boom! Let's play Stock Up. Trigger. Discard Rail Monsoon Mage. We find another Artist Talent. We'll take Past in Flames and Pyretic Ritual. Let's level up this Artist Talent. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. Discard Artist Talent. We'll play Stock Up. Discard Steam Vents. We drew into Desperate Ritual. I'll take Preordain, Vexing Bauble. What's funny here is Vexing Bauble is actually free to play. Discard my Preordain. I will have to get rid of it if I want to cast the stock up from exile. But this might bait out like a surgical extraction or something. And there's the surgical extraction. They're going to target Pyretic Ritual. In response, we'll play Pyretic Ritual. I will not discard. So now they're going to exile the 3 Pyretic Rituals in my graveyard. No, it's all 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 of them are in the graveyard. That was not the one to target, my friend. There was only one left, and it was in my hand. But, okay. I guess they're trying to play around Past in Flames, if in that case. We'll draw a card off the bauble. Now we'll play Stock Up, discard Scalding Tarn, drew in a flow state. We'll take Desperate Ritual and Strike It Rich. Play Strike It Rich from exile, discard Strike It Rich. We'll play Flow State. I don't even think I need Past in Flames anymore. Like, I was thinking about holding it just for surgical extraction purposes, but I don't even care about surgical extraction anymore. We'll play another Vexing Bauble for free. Discard the Misty Rainforest. We'll play Flow State. Discard Steam Vents. Desperate Ritual Preordain. If I don't splice it, I'll get YouTube comments complaining, so I will splice Desperate Ritual. Oh, should I splice this one too? Okay, we'll double splice. People get really, really upset when you're like ultra far ahead like this and you don't do it. Like, I get comments like, you could have done this, and it's like, yeah, I know, it's just, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, I think that's why I don't do it, is that like, yeah, you could, but what's the point? I just need to finish drawing through the rest of my deck. We'll make blue, play the Preordain, discard a land, another Sink in a Stupor. There's the Grape Shot. Okay. I will Grape Shot target you. It looks like our opponent has Consigned in Memory, which is fine, because we can Sink in a Stupor this. But also, if it was Flusterstorm, hypothetically, we could also just flashback Past in Flames that way. Discard Scalding Tarn. Nice. Alright. Off to game 3. I will just resubmit the same configuration. Game 3 on the draw. I think we keep this. It's a little slow, but we have turn 1 Vexing Bauble. I mean, having Rail Monsoon Mage is good. It's just I worry about them just killing me. And they don't even have a turn 1 play. Alright, I'll go to 18. Vexing Bauble. It resolves. They fetch with Scalding Tarn. Surveils away Steam Vents. They play Mountain. We draw another Rail Monsoon Mage. I'll play my Thundering Falls. Keep the Manamorphose. We'll play the second Vexing Bauble because I plan on cycling one in order to draw cards. Our opponent plays Wooded Foothills and then fetches for another basic Mountain. Slick Shot Show Off. When they swing, I go to 17. I'm going to use one Vexing Bauble here just to draw a card. We'll play our land, and I will pass. So you could tap out for a Rail Monsoon Mage, but that also tells your opponent that your shield's down. But I don't want to do that. I want them to have to respect Into the Floodmaw that they saw in game number 2. For a Steel Cutter, they play a Fiery Islet, 4 cards still in hand. Preordain. So they have 7 damage at the moment. They're attacking for 7, no blocks. I'm at 10. We'll fetch Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Preordain. This helps towards Flow State. But I wonder if I'm supposed to get rid of the Vexing Bauble now, because I really need another land if I'm going to beat a burn spell on the Rail Monsoon Mage. It does mean that, like, Surgical Extraction would become live, but I think that's okay. And that's a land. I mean, I'd prefer a land that doesn't Lightning Bolt me, but that's okay. Well, that land doesn't Lightning Bolt me either. Okay, let's try to make something happen here. We'll grab a basic island. Rail Monsoon Mage. 1 blue. You have Spell Snare. I was not expecting Spell Snare. Oh boy. Alright, well, I'm dead if I pass, so I need to do something here. I think we let this go. And I just have to pray to be incredibly lucky. Desperate Ritual. We'll play Rail Monsoon Mage. We'll play Manamorphose. So this is the 5th spell of the turn, but I've played 2 non-instant or sorcery spells, so this is number 3. I'll say Tails. I go to 7. I'll do blue and red. Okay. If I can Flow State into Double Ritual, we have a win, but that seems unlikely. We'll play Flow State, the 4th instant or sorcery of the turn. Tails. I'm at 6. No. We fizzled. So I get a 50-50 on Past in Flames transforming the Rail. That's my chance here. Tails. So it's all up to Past in Flames. All right, let's see it. Tails. We did it. We flipped. It doesn't mean we win. Wait, did I mess this up again somehow? I must have. Oh my god, that's 3 times this video. This is Storm 8. I've played Rail and Rail. So this should have been... Oh, I wasn't counting their spell. Ah, I guess I was dead if I didn't do it anyway. But I thought that I had it and I didn't. So we'll kill the Slick Shot Show Off. Pass the turn. I mean, I know how to play Storm, I swear. But for some reason, this league, I can't wrap my head around Rail Leyline Prodigy or Rail Monsoon Mage. We're dead here. I definitely was not expecting Spell Snare. Like Spell Pierce, Lightning Bolt, like those were things on my mind. But Spell Snare was the perfect card in my opinion. And that means that we're finishing this league 3-2. But honestly, I realized that a 3-2 is an average result. I was really, really impressed by this deck. Genuinely, I do mean that. I thought the deck was fairly good. I do wonder if Stormcatch Mentor is the right card. We had a couple instances throughout this league between Lava Dart and Orcish Bowmasters. Should it be Stormcatch Mentor or should it be Baral Chief of Compliance? That is a genuine question I do have, and I don't know if it's correct or not. It's really nice that it's a backup win condition to Grape Shot. That does matter. We also had a win where Grape Shot wasn't lethal, but I was able to attack with the Stormcatch Mentor to finish them off. So I think there's pros and cons. If you have strong opinions on it, let me know in the comment section down below. But that's all I've got for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the new video featuring Flow State in Modern. Let me know your thoughts once again. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. I appreciate you checking out today's video. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below in order to support us. And then after that, go to moxfield.com where you can find the deck list from today's video, along with other great deck lists that feature the latest and greatest combo technologies. Once again, thank you for watching, and go check out moxfield.com.